Or Monthly.
Monty. Monty.
Yeah, Monty tournament. Big Monty tournament.
Like Monty
All right.
Python?
Yeah.
So you're Monty Rupee, huh?
There we go. Monthly. I did it. True professional.
I think you should change it to Monty FitzRupee.
But just keep adding names onto it.
Exactly. Are you just as an aside? Have you watched much Monty Python? Are you a fan?
Oh, I have. I certainly am.
Sweet. Love that stuff. Anyway, this game.
All right. Chaos
What you
Lord
reckon?
getting slingshotted out onto the map. Hive Tyrant.
Impressions. I want to hear impressions, man. Like,
Oh man.
seriously.
I mean,
The analysis.
I feel like Chaos Lord has the edge here. I mean, as you mentioned before, the map's a bit smaller, and Chaos Lord has so much just good anti-blob for like when the nids just come rushing in here. I mean, early game he's got the Doom Blast. Later game he's gonna have the. I mean, he's probably gonna get. Yeah, I mean he's gonna get Let the Galaxy Burn, of course. I'm not sure if he's gonna go for the Combat Flamer, but probably.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's just so easy for him to chase down these nids. Of course, you know, you can't be mindless about it because the Toxin Sacks can just shut down your Chaos Lord advance and allow the nids to just kind of work around him and then just go straight for your army. You see him, already trying to like bait out the Kill the Weak right now, just sending the dodging in and out with Hormigons.
If anything, though, that actually probably necessitates the Combi Flamer more, right? That he can just get kited by the double turbines.
Sure, because then he can still just keep the DPS going even if he can't get into melee.
Exactly. And what do you think? What do you think Torpid's going to go for then? I think that was pretty spot on with the chaos.
Nids I'm always less familiar with. I feel like just getting I don't know. DarkRiku will probably. Do you think DarkRiku is going to get Havocs and then we'd see Raveners in response, or do you just feel like Hive Tyrant normally I feel like doesn't get Warriors and then just uses the Warrior call-in?
So I feel like the question is really like, is Riku going to expand into tier 1.5 using a Havoc, or is he going to use a Raptor or Noise Marine? I feel like Noise Marine is best against like Chaos Lord against non-Hive Tyrant because you can actually knock stuff back and really make full use of their cacophony.
Right, but since the Hive Tyrant can get in on them and just ignore that.
Yeah, so it's a bit mess. So I think it's going to be a Havoc first, which probably will lead into Torpid going for Raveners and going for Devourers. But it's as a response, right? Because if he ended up going for something different, I can totally understand going for Warriors or going for Bob Strangler. But the Havoc kind of makes it like you don't want to go Bob Strangler Warrior Brood. It's just it's not that good, right? Yeah,
right. I mean, I feel my first instinct is always like, yeah, you get the Barbed Strangler, it controls the ticks, it controls the Chaos Space Marines, but then the Havoc just shuts that down, and the Chaos Lord can ignore them as well. So it's
the one thing playing into his favor is that there isn't advanced targeters for the he even preemptively gets the Raveners, so he is committing into full range blob, and I think this is decent actually, considering that Torpid basically knows 100% this is gonna be a Havoc. I mean, it's a Havoc map. It's really good in 1v1. Yeah, get Ravener straight off the bat. No, I think both players have opened accurately and have capped a lot of the map that they want. And here comes Spore Mines versus Ticks, that classic matchup of running away.
I was about to say, yeah, that doesn't end well for Heretics in any way you swing it, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you basically get dropped to like 25% HP after one good detonation, right?
So, good. Okay, that was just Overwatch. I was about to say Riku going for double Havocs, but it looks like he went ahead and canceled that.
Yeah, that would have been a blunder.
The VPs have just been changing hands back and forth so far. Raveners finding exactly what they were looking for, getting on that Havoc. Heretics can't even really turn to engage because of that Spore Mine support, so those Spore Mines have been
nice.
Really great so far. Like they haven't had any explosions, but just the intimidation of them has already like prevented so much capping and advancing.
No, just excellent Spore Mine control.
Because oftentimes you'll see the nids, a lot of nid players just get really antsy to use those and put them in the thick of it, and they'll just lose them outright early on.
And within 2 engagements, right? Whereas now he has not only pressured a bunch of cappers, he's done an excellent pincer. This is easily worth 100/5, right? This is just great.
I mean, he's just buying time. He's forcing 2 squads to just sit back there and not be supporting the Havocs, which just got back onto the field. Now they have to fall back, and he's just keeping the army from being supported from one side or the other so far, and now he's got his full force there in the face of everything. The Comet Flamer is on the Chaos Lord now. Hive Tyrant taking a little peppering from those base turrets, but he's got the HP that he can just fall back, and now Chaos Lord again. I mean, we've just been seeing one squad at a time kind of engaging these nids and then unable to do anything about it.
I think though that it's give credit to Torpid though. His battle management in this particular battle was really, really clever, making full use of the line sight blocker, making full use of his mobility, and just kind of pushing on two fronts to prevent a pincer. Very, very clever. Like, good stuff.
And again, he's getting these spore mines right back, so he doesn't want heretics to be able to just mindlessly harangue the bottom point here. He does have the gens down here, so it's an obvious play for Riku to just send the ticks to cap the point and then head down and start beating up gens. But unfortunately, he's not going to find what he's looking for. There's Chaos Marines over here. There's heretics. There's a Devastator. So he's buying some time a little bit with those spore mines, if nothing else. But
do you know if Noise Marines silence spore mines?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do, but I really have genuinely no idea, because, like, you know, most...
But, I mean, Noise Marines also just practically disintegrate spore mines on their own.
Like, it wouldn't stop them getting into range, though, by themselves, which is why I'm curious. But the thing is, I think it really shows that Torpid has a very clear vision of how he wants to approach the matchup, that he bought the second spore mine. It didn't quite work out for him this time, but I think it was actually reasonably well thought out, because he was just thinking, okay, I'm just going to use my range blob. I want to pressure off his tick so that he can't really threaten my range blob. But here come Noise Marines, which I think is a very, very good pickup against this range-centric blob that Torpid brings to the table.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on their own, like you said, it's probably not the greatest choice, since the Hive Tyrant can just harangue them. But since he's got the Havoc out here, he's got the range support for him. He can actually put these to pretty great use. Unbeknownst to him, though, yeah, that shield's coming on just in the middle of that engagement. The Cacophony goes down, but it's not going to work out for those Noise Marines at all. Oh, and now they might even go down for it. Raveners get a nice burrow strike there, but find themselves some aspiring champion heretics, which can actually tangle them pretty well.
Oh, that was some
full health back on that Chaos Lord.
Oh. And that kill the week probably made the fight, actually.
Oh yeah, having the Chaos Lord back on full health there. Oh, and then getting the suppression with that. Oh.
So the real trade is a bit of bleed on the nids, forced off Hive Tyrant, potentially a squad wipe.
Yeah, he gets
forced off Noise Marines. That is horrible. That's just terrible.
But the Noise Marines are such a nuisance. Like, you have to deal with them first, and then. But like you said, they were positioned in such a way that Riku got such huge advantage. Even though the Noise Marines themselves didn't do much, they did enough in distraction and forcing the nids out of a superior position for that engagement.
It's just very clever in the sense that, like, Torpid's over-specialized into range, so you pick up a range counter, you force him to play into your hand. Riku's very, very close on Torpid's tail going to tier 2. If Torpid gets a Gem Bash, if Riku gets a Gem Bash on top of it, he will have very good, like, chances going into the mid to late game. On the other hand, he's down to less than 300 VPs. He could easily get VP'd out, despite having gotten a big win just now. So, finally balanced game, really enjoyable to watch. I'm liking it.
So everything approaching in on the Havocs now. Noise Marines kind of hanging back on the flank, trying to find a good time to come in. Yeah, and here's the opportunity. The Hive Tyrant's away from all the range squads, and now the Noise Marines can just move right in on them, putting some big damage out there.
This is just so nasty for Torpid to deal with, because, like, he wants to focus down the Chaos Lord. He's doing a darn good job of it, but he still has the Noise Marines coming up from his rear. So
no, like, all three of these squads are gonna singularly take out any of those range squads. So he had to be very careful with how he approached that, and he just didn't have enough. The Hive Tyrant can force off one of those, but with the ticks all charging in as well. Ooh, nice seismic roll right there.
This is when you want to pick up Rending Talons. Like, you know, we've casted some MRTs, we've watched some Rending Talons play, and it's just not been an ideal pickup at all. This is when you want it, when your opponent has lots of little squishy melee squads running around that do want to be in the thick of it. Just Seismic Roar, and it's just a one fight. Alright.
Yeah, one fight. He got some models off of that as well. Hormagaunts managed to get back everything, and then Blood Crusher coming out here shortly.
This is bad. This is really, really bad for Torpid unless he can pull out some counterplay. But I don't know. Like, what would you go here as Torpid? Would you go for the Tyrant Guard or would you go for the Venom Brood?
I feel like the Tyrant Guard's more universally useful, but it's not going to be enough to dissuade the Blood... Like, the Blood Crusher can just easily maneuver around it.
Okay, but what about the Venom Brood? What, like, do you think that's the right choice then?
Or maybe I'm not sure what the right choice is. Like, both of them are really tricky. I mean, you're going to need two... You pretty much need two anti-vehicle sources to deal with the Blood Crusher. So I think maybe just having the Tyrant Guard and the Hive Tyrant out just because they can stay on the field against that thing is probably better, because the Venom Broods are just going to get so easily rushed down.
The main problem I have with Venom Brood here is that, yes, it synergizes better with what you have right now, but A, they're vulnerable to getting just charged down by a Blood Crusher, and B, they just get silenced by Noise Marines. So you're picking up yet another range squad. Like, okay, you have range synapse, great, but it's over-specializing into something that you're just going to become weaker and weaker at doing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's the right choice to go Tyrant Guard here. Not to directly compete with the Blood Crusher, but to go do your own stuff on the other side of the map. And here goes down the Noise Marines. That was a terrible, terrible decision.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just thought he was going to be able to hold against the Hormagaunts there, or...
Well, I was
either way,
that.
misjudgment for sure.
I was going to mention that Adrenal Glands upgrade for the Hormagaunts very early on, something that you don't see that often these days, but I mean, I still rate the upgrade. I think it's a very, very solid upgrade considering what Hormagaunts actually do. The main thing for me is that Hormagaunts are, by and large, a pretty meh, unupgraded solo combat unit. It actually makes them combat worthy by themselves. You know, it's kind of in the same way that the Aspiring Champion transforms heretics. You know what I mean? Not quite as impactful, maybe, but it's that same sort of vein, because Hormagaunts by themselves suck.
Yeah.
They just suck. They don't do anything.
They're barely going to beat range squads in melee half the time, so it's...
Yeah, so I think it makes a lot of sense when he wants to play this combat-oriented to go for the Adrenal Glands early on, get a lot of value from that over the course of the game. But here comes Venom Brood as well, so both the choices we were talking about being, you know, probably reasonably optimal are now on the field. And
I think you kind of need that, because if he's not going for the Crush Claw and the Hive Tyrant, he does need a secondary. Because as we mentioned, the Tyrant Guard can hold on the map against these sort of things, but he can't really fight against it. And now that there's Plague Marines out here as well, it's in a lot of trouble.
It's a little bit overextended. I don't think Shield Wall saves it either. This is not good. Yeah, here you come. Okay, that's really smart to bring up, because he's got that synapse there, so it's gonna make a big deal to his survivability, you know, his ability to survive this incoming onslaught. And yeah, that's his Tyrant Guard probably safe for a while. Only a while though, probably.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile the Crusher's gonna heal up under Worship in the back line, and the Venom Brood is going to get forced off. And yeah, the second he sees the Venom Brood forced off, he can move that Crusher right back on in.
This Plague Marine choice is so smart. You know, like, how many times in MRTs have I just said, like, this Plague Marine choice was so bad? But here it was so smart. And the reason I think it's so smart is, A, it counters the Tyrant Guard, but also that slow aura is really, really good against Hive Tyrant and Hormagaun Brood. And there's no way that Torpid really just forces them off here.
Yep, and yeah, Torpid recognizes it too. He goes ahead and calls the GG now.
I'm not surprised, and I think that game demonstrated why I think Chaos Lord was the right pick on this particular map. Not just that Riku played really well. I mean, he threw away Noise Marines for free. It still was convincing, right? You know what I'm getting at?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he even without that, as we saw in that last engagement, like he had it under control.